Hello, welcome to another episode of Awakening with Soulspirational. I'm Tish, and today we're talking about the Crown Chakra. So this is the last of my chakra series. This is episode 8 for this particular series. So we're ending with the chakra, or with the Crown Chakra, and even though I'm going to be talking about the chakras, I'm sure, well into the future, this is just the last of this particular series. All right, so when we talk about the Crown Chakra, let's put out some basics there first. So the Crown Chakra is located at the top of your head. The colors associated with it are, most people see it as white or violet. The element, some see it as the cosmos representing the Crown Chakra. Others see this as thought, and you see it as both. So the positive and the negative archetypes, as Ambika Waters from the Book of Chakras, she defines the positive archetype of the Crown Chakra as being the guru. So somebody who really knows and understands who they are. They let life move through them and take them even deeper into consciousness itself. The negative archetype would be the egoist. Or the egotist. The egotists are people who think their efforts alone carry them through life. And I'm sure we all know some people that this would represent. There may be times for ourselves where we even thought this way, that it's I and I alone. So an egotist generally will see themselves separate from the greater whole. So we have the negative and the positive archetypes to this, just like with all the other chakras we've been discussing. The nice thing about talking about the archetypes is it can give us a little nudge or a little reminder if we're operating in the moment from one or the other. And if we're operating from the positive aspect of whichever chakra it may be, that's wonderful. If we find that we're slipping a little bit more into the negative side of that archetype, of that particular chakra, then we can just use that as a gentle reminder to kind of come back towards a center point, which may be healthier for us. All right, so when we are looking at the chakra, the angelic presence would be the Christ light. Again, it's at the top of the head, and it would govern things like the brain, top of the spinal cord, the brain stem, nervous system, the pineal and the pituitary glands. So this stuff up here, so we're really focusing on here. The general meaning, so your crown chakra is what connects you to God, source, the divine, the universe, however you may perceive it. For most energy workers, Reiki practitioners, we are tapping into this divine energy. If I, as an energy worker, were to use my energy and think that it's I alone who can, heal the person on the table, that would be the negative archetype for me. I understand that any healing that's done on the table with my client, it's because they allowed it to be so. They were ready and they were open for that exchange to happen so that they can release whatever it is that they needed to release. I can't release it for somebody. So I am in that constant reminder during session that I am a conduit. I am helping people through my experience, helping to guide them, but ultimately any healing done on the table is about the client. All right, so when we are seeking enlightenment, when we are on our road, our spiritual journey, we are really tapping in to the Crown Chakra. So when you are in meditation, if you're in deep reflection, if you're spending time out in nature, really just being in the moment. So, maybe you're in surrounded by trees somewhere, or maybe you're sitting out on the beach, and you're really just being in that moment with nature. You are also connecting with the Crown Chakra, connecting with your spirituality. So, and when we do things, even prayer, gratitude, when we are going inside, when we're closing our eyes, we're taking that time to be still and to go within. We are tapping into that divine light, that divine presence that is within us. So instead of looking out and up, all we simply need to do is close the eyes and go inward and connect. So again, whether we're just still in meditation, if we're taking that time to send out gratitude and love, prayers for one another, you're connecting with the crown chakra. All right, let's talk about some ways in which you can balance the crown. Bring some more balance there. So just like all the other chakras, bring in things of the colors that represent that particular chakra. So in this case, white or violet. So you can have white linens, white pillows, maybe a wall hanging that's more white or violet. So bring in those colors as a reminder of your spiritual journey, wanting to open up more spiritually. You can wear clothing that reminds you of the path that you're on. You can also Google things like essential oils. So you can go to particular essential oils specific for the crown chakra. So whether you diffuse them or if it's something that your own mix that you want to wear, for example, all that information is online. Same thing with crystals. So if you enjoy working with crystals, look up which ones are the best, maybe for meditation, to really help you to connect, to open you up, to feel that connection with the divine. All right, so when we are, if we think about the last episode, the third eye, that represented light. So briefly, the crown being thought, the third eye being light, the throat being sound. Sometimes I like to think, even with God, there is this thought that God had before there was light. So before light, there was dark, right? And it's this thought. So I like to think about that when I'm manifesting. At any given time, thoughts are going through our minds. It's what the mind does. And every once in a while, a thought will come through, or maybe it'll get our attention like, that was kind of interesting, right? And sometimes it'll just seem like it just flies right back out. To me, I really think it's just still floating around somewhere. Although somebody recently, we were in conversation in group, I think it was, and somebody had mentioned, and somebody had mentioned that if I'm not doing something with that thought, kind of spins its way out, and maybe somebody else is going to pick up on that thought and they're going to act upon it. And I thought that was a brilliant way to look at things. So first we have this thought, right? So if I want to manifest something, first I have to know what it is that I want to manifest. Maybe it's a particular goal that I'm working towards. So first there's a thought, and it may just drop in and it may spin out for a little while, come back in, or just kind of run around in the mind. And then at some point, that's where maybe the light just turned on, that aha moment, right? So now not only does the thought drop in, but now there's light on this thought where we have a few more minutes to think about it. Maybe this is a good idea. Maybe this is something I want to pursue. We may continue to process it then, or maybe it just kind of swirls around again and we go on about life and it comes back around to where we get to the point where now we're going to bring it into the throat chakra. Again, the one that governs sound. So maybe we're going to mull it over. We're going to think about it for a while. We're going to chew on it for a while, right? So how does this sound in my own ears? This particular thing, this goal or something I want to manifest, as I'm bringing it into my communication and my truth center, how does it sound? So do I want to keep chewing on it, or is it at this point where maybe I'm not quite ready for it, or maybe this isn't something I really want to do, but at least I had the thought, the light came on, and I chewed on it for a bit, right? So I get to spit it out, or maybe I want to continue to process it. So then I'm going to bring whatever, again, this goal or something I want to manifest down into the heart center. Now we're getting into the element of air. And it's love, it's kindness, it's compassion. So when I'm bringing whatever this is into my heart center, is this something that feels loving? Is it something that feels kind, generous, compassionate? Or am I getting a pushback at the heart center? So let's assume whatever it is my goal is or what I'm manifesting feels right in the heart. Then I'm going to start to digest it. And when I start getting into the solar plexus, that's where I start feeling into like action steps. So I'm taking it from this thought and I'm processing it. So now I'm bringing it to a point where I want to start taking action on whatever it is, right? So when we look at the solar plexus, it's governed by fire or the sun. So this may be something, and actually I kind of see the solar plexus and the sacral almost like this alchemy or something. Different things we can kind of burn away or wash away, and maybe other things we realize we want to add to it, just kind of balance things out some more. So when I get this goal or what it is I want to manifest into my solar plexus, how does it feel there? Now, this is the place in the solar plexus where our lack of confidence may push it out. No, you know what? I can't do this. I'm not worthy of this, of whatever we're manifesting or what the goal may bring to us. So we may feel as though I'm not deserving, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy for the outcome of this. So we may just go ahead and just kick it out right then and there. If that is the case, that is a really strong sign, I believe, for us to start working on our confidence, our willpower, our self-worth. Work on that, because as long as you're alive, as long as you're breathing, you deserve beautiful, wonderful things in your life. So this may just simply bring us to a place to, maybe I need to heal something that's been going on in my solar plexus, and then I need to revisit this thought so I can take the action steps moving forward to achieve whatever it is that I'm bringing through. So let's say I'm at that point, and I know I can start taking action steps. I can start plotting and planning. So maybe I'm writing a bunch of things down. I'm trying to process what my goals, what my individual steps will be to reach this goal, or to open up space for whatever it is that I'm manifesting. And it feels good. You know, my spine is straight and I feel strong, and I know that I deserve this, and I have the willpower, the passion, you know, the fire in the belly to be able to do whatever it is that I'm doing. Okay, so then we're going to move down into the sacral chakra, which is at the navel or just below the navel, governed by water element. This is also our place for emotions, pleasure. So we may get down to the sacral chakra, and depending on what it is that we're bringing in, maybe it's something that's going to bring us more fun, for example. And well, I'm somebody who's been so closed to fun that it kind of scares me. Or, boy, I feel as though I want to do this, and I think I'm deserving, but I get down into my emotions and I feel like, I don't know if I can handle this emotionally. Again, this is a perfect opportunity to heal, to go deeper into the sacral, deeper into the emotions. Why is it? What is blocking me from being able to handle what it is I'm bringing in, whatever this goal is emotionally? How can I heal this? How can I remove this blockage? Because I know that I'm deserving of this, but my emotions are telling me something different. So we get in there and we work on healing that, removing that blockage so we can get down to the root. So when we get down to the root at the base of the spine, to me, when I'm doing, I've got an episode called the affirmation placement. So I'm rooting into my soil, my earth, whatever it is I'm manifesting, whatever that goal is. So I have brought it from a thought all the way down through, and I'm bringing it to my root chakra, where we want to bring the energy into when we want to manifest. bring it down into the root. We've brought it from the upper chakras, the more spiritual body, down into the physical body. Saying, here I am, I walk in this earth today, I deserve this, I'm manifesting it, this is my goal, and I'm bringing it on. I'm bringing it in. I'm open to receive. So, again, it starts at that perfect place of thought. You know, recently we were discussing as well about surrendering, releasing, and receiving. So typically when we are in surrender mode, I let go and let God, I give it up to God, whatever, however you say things, I'm letting it go. And my natural instinct is just what I'm doing. I just kind of throw it up in the air, my palms are up and they're open, right? Well, when we want to receive, here we are with open hands, right? So at the same time we're surrendering, we are now open to receive that which is in our highest and greatest good. That which is divinely brought to us. Here, out from the powers that be, things that we've been asking for from the universe, we are now open to receive, to bring those things into our lives. So, I guess I got off on a little tangent there, but so allow yourself to be open. Allow the thoughts to be processed. Now, I do want to say something else during the course of this video. I want to kind of make a delineation here. I see thoughts, true pure thoughts, as being separate from self-talk. To me, self-talk tends to be a different it tends to be a language that we learned when we were younger and throughout our lifetimes, or our lifetime. So we're hearing other people's, their thoughts and their opinions, right? Since the time that we're born. And we're picking up the energy and the self-talk and the projection of others, and we're bringing that in so that when we do have this great divine thought, the self-talk that we've been given from others came in from the ears. It didn't come in through the top of the head. A child isn't born saying, you know, I'm not worthy to do this, right? It's the talk that we hear from others that we may have accepted as our own that can block us from those divine thoughts. So, I kind of pause here because I can almost hear an argument of, well, what about our unpleasant thoughts? Well, to me, I don't know. I kind of see those two is coming in secondarily. If we were raised around positive, upbeat energy all the time, and we were never exposed to unpleasant language, would we have those thoughts at all if we weren't exposed to them? So I see these drop-in thoughts that lead us to better places, to higher places where we want to reach higher. I see that as the thoughts from the divine or from the universe. But the unpleasant thoughts, the unpleasant talk, that doesn't feel pure to me. So I feel like that's something that's entering below, again, within the ears. So again, I just want to kind of make that delineation, and I'm actually kind of planting a seed too, because I'm going to be doing a video talking about different languages. So just to kind of set that, again, as a delineation between a divine thought and self-talk. So let's see here. All right. So I kind of went through the elements. Again, we have, the thought, we have the light, we have the sound, we have the air. And I didn't speak much about this, but, how healthy is the air around us? So we're thinking about manifesting. There's a goal we want to achieve. How are we going to be able to breathe? Are we going to be able to breathe easier? when this is brought to us. And remember the previous episodes where I talk about how we're digesting something. Does it feel right? Is our body absorbing whatever this thought is? Or is it wanting to just get it out of the system right away? Never force yourself to take on a thought or energy that doesn't belong to you. It isn't divine. Your energy is your energy. It only belongs to you. So I'm just going to ask for you to keep that in mind. All right, so a couple other things I want to just kind of place here. When we are talking about the mind, if you want to think about the imbalances, maybe your crown chakra was underdeveloped or overdeveloped. It's imbalanced for one reason or another. We can think about things like headaches, migraines. And actually what just came to my mind, so we have thoughts entering the mind, right? But then we also have all the other external stuff that we're absorbing, that we're bringing in from different conversations with people, from the TV, radio, whatever it may be. We have all this information, and all this information may be producing thoughts of one kind or another, but they're still, I don't know, just kind of here, right? So for somebody who is prone to headaches, and I've been one myself, and to migraines, when there is so much coming at us, if we don't have a safety valve, oftentimes when I start to get a headache, I state the intention of my crown being nice and open, and I just imagine a lot of these thoughts just exiting, just leaving me. Because I feel like I'm pressurized, that I've been taking in all this stuff, and I love to read. I love to expand my knowledge, my understanding of things. And sometimes I can overload myself. So when I can just release the pressure valve, so to speak, and I can let those thoughts just go away. If they're not my highest good, if they don't serve me, if it's not something for a future thought I'm going to need, I just want to release it. I want to just get it out of my head. So I can relieve the pressure. So I don't know, when we think about headaches and migraines, there may be something within the third eye or in your spiritual connection that is causing that. And other diseases that we think of when it comes to the brain, other things we want to be open to. If you are having some kind of head issue, think about it. What is your spiritual connection like? What kind of thoughts do you have going on? Is there a way that you can release some of those to alleviate some of it? If so, obviously when we can, that's best, right? If we can release some of that pressure. And then I'm going to ask for you to, again, as we're talking about the crown, think about your spiritual path. Do you feel connected to God or to the universe or a source larger than ourselves? Do you feel that connection? I know what it's like to feel separate. And it's a very lonely place, at least it was for me. And realizing that we're all connected. So I may just be one fragment of light and everybody else is their fragment. Ultimately, I see us all as joined from that initial source. Again, whether you call that God or the universe, etc. So where are you on your spiritual journey? Are you taking time for meditation? Do you ever spend time just being still and going within to that divine space within you? Here in Ohio, it's December, so it's getting cold. But for those of you that can get outside and really sit and be with nature, feeling that divine presence within and the creation all around you, the trees, the bushes, the plants, the squirrels, the earth itself. So to be there. And what comes to mind as well, to be a free thinker. So where somebody isn't capping us or containing us and telling us what to think. Allow yourself to be open to all the possibilities that life has to offer. Be open to people who think differently than you. You still may not align with the way that they think, but you just may learn something if you open up, listen, be still, listen to what somebody else has to say. It may bring you to a place of greater understanding or compassion. Again, whether or not we wind up aligning with their way of thinking or not, be a free thinker. Challenge yourself, challenge others in why information is coming to you the way that it is. And I like to say that the soul knows. So when you were getting information, if you were hearing things, seeing things on social media, hearing things, TV, radio, etc., be a free thinker. Challenge it. Search it. What does it mean? What is your body telling you when you are hearing this stuff? Does it feel right to you? Is your soul rejecting it? Because that's what I do. When I hear something, I'll research it. If I'm unfamiliar with whatever the topic is. But my soul knows. I will feel this rejection if it just doesn't feel right to me. And if it does, I can just feel my soul kind of absorbing it. Does it feel loving? Does it feel kind and compassionate? Typically, when something comes to me and it sounds harsh and negative, that's usually something that I'm pushing out. But I'll still stop. I want to think. I want to see where other people are coming from. And then that's where I believe too we can strengthen our connection to the divine, because we're taking time to lovingly listen to and think about what somebody else has to say, and we process it. We're opening ourselves up to the information flow, not just here, but divinely. All right, so thank you. If you've watched this series, thank you for taking the time, or today's episode. I truly appreciate it. And I really look forward to what's coming up in 2019. So I wish everybody a wonderful holiday season, a blessed and brilliant 2019. May all your wishes and dreams, if they're in the highest and greatest good for you, come true. May you feel peace and calm and joy and love, and hear the laughter. May your heart continue to expand and grow in love this year. From me to you, I truly wish you all the best. So until next time, thank you, be well, and namaste.